Ladies and dudes, I found a perfect idea of what Taken 3 needs to be about. And it's about these three important things and three important things only. The story is going to be about is family, love, and above all things, being independent. And it's up to one independent man who can make all the difference. A man who is on a quest to save his extended family from the wrath of one evil madman who had ruined them all from the last 8 or 9 years ago. Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes, this is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop1987. This is my review for today. And today I have no review, ladies and dudes. But for today's list, ladies and dudes, I'm finally going to do a brand new top 5 list that nobody has never done before. And I think I found a perfect idea for it. And I want to thank you all for watching my latest quick video that I did close to a week ago, as I explained to you all that I found a perfect idea of how to find a way to fix Taken 3 and get to know what the heck the storyline needs to be about. Well, if you guys haven't seen my quick video of it, I'll just go ahead and leave a link down below for it. And I was thinking to myself, and since I did it for this past week, how about a few new ideas for the scenes of the redo story of Taken 3. Something that will be much better than the one that we already saw 5 years ago. Well, close to it. And we will never forgive those idiot screenwriters for what they had done to the final chapter of the Taken saga. And it's a good idea if this movie needs to be fixed right away. But we will keep a couple of good ideas here and there that was in the previous film. Some good ideas that might fit well for the story. So, for my latest top 5 list, I'm going to do for today is the top 5 most greatest ideas of what kind of scenes do I want to see for the redo story of Taken 3. And there's a lot of them to choose from. And I got so many great ideas for it. From beginning, middle, and all the way to the end. But I'm just gonna pick a couple of them that I do like for what I got in my head. So anyway, without further ado, ladies and dudes, let's head on to my top 5 of my best ideas ever of what kind of scenes do I want to see for the redo story of Taken 3. And yes, I got a couple of honorable mentions that did not make it to the list. Like a couple of things of Stuart St. John. Like his evil plot. You know, his evil plot of breaking Brian and Lenny's relationship apart. And he doesn't want them to see each other again. Or how about this? What will happen if Stuart St. John got involved in an affair with a woman? And this woman is not really good looking. Or very darn pretty. She's somewhat pretty, but she's somewhat dangerous. What will happen if Stuart St. John fell in love with an assassin woman? And she's very darn deadly. Big time. And I know that's not a good sign either. Another honorable mention from Benjamin Williams. He will cause chaos at Kim's college. I would like to see a really cool fight scene where Benjamin Williams has to face some of the cops or the CIAs or the FBIs. because they found out that he's in LA for some no reason. And he's going to kick some major butt for it. And he'll do the best he can to protect Kim at all costs. Another one. A great relationship between Benjamin Williams and Kim. It's time for these two characters to get to know each other and become an uncle and niece. And Benjamin Williams had always wanted to become a really good uncle if his 4 beautiful big sisters will ever have their own children. But sadly, all of his family members are dead, since he was the only one left in his kind. You know, the last survivor of the Williams family. So he dreams that he will love to have a nephew or a niece that he wants to get along with. If you know what I mean. And yes, there's going to be a lot of scenes about bagels, since Mr. Dawson loves bagels and he loves to eat them. And I'm not sure what the heck I want to say about bagels. Bagels is really good to eat. And the final honorable mention, the main beginning of the storyline, is where we finally gonna meet Benjamin Williams in person. And he will be the main character of the storyline. Seriously, he will be the main character. So that means Brian Mills will be the supporting character for a while, before we could see him again somewhere around like in the middle part of the storyline. If you know what I mean. So anyway, here are my top 5 choices of what kind of scenes do I want to see for the redo story of Taken 3. Coming at number 5 is Benjamin Williams is going to reunite with an old rival of his who is becoming Brian Mills' new comrade. And this will be a pretty darn interesting idea if there was a character that Brian Mills knew back in his youth where he was once an enemy, but somewhat of a rival, but also close to a best friend. And I think I found a perfect actor who will play this old rival of both Brian and Ben, and that is Ray Fiennes. I want his character to be named Ray, and Ray is also one of the most powerful, deadliest assassins around. And he knows some deadly arts, a particular set of skills. There was a time where he and Ben did had a fight before, and they did sword fighting because they are a master of sword fighting. But now they are rivals, and Ray was waiting for a rematch with Ben, but sadly the rematch has to come later on if the time will come. But for now on, Ray has to tell Benjamin Williams what the heck is going on in LA and danger is ahead for it. And he has to tell him the truth about what happened to Brian Mills, and Benjamin Williams will get shocked about it. Something that he doesn't want to believe. That's a big no-no for him. So yeah, reunite with an old rival that Ben and Brian knew from the past deserves to be at number 5. Coming at number 4 is Brian and Ben's last and final training. Now here is something that nobody had never seen before, is seeing Brian Mills doing some particular set of skill training. And they never explained that in all 3 of the films. What will happen in Taken 3 if Brian Mills will ever do some training and learn so many cool arts, a particular set of skills? And there was one good idea I thought about in my head. What will happen if Benjamin Williams will teach Brian Mills how to use his particular set of skills one last time, but he won't use his particular set of skills that involves killing. And Brian Mills is sick and tired of using his particular set of skills to kill. So he wants to find a way to use his particular set of skills to protect lives. And he really wants to protect Kim and Lenny at all costs. And Benjamin Williams will do the best he can to train him for one last time. And it's going to be an epic one. Big time. So that's all I could say for the number 4 spot. And coming at number 3 is the most important one in my list because it needs to be involved 3 people who have one thing in common, and that is they're worried about someone that they truly love, who is not here for a while. So coming at number 3 is Lenny, Kim, and Ben. They have one thing in common, and that is Brian Mills. And it'll be at the end of Act 1, in Benjamin Williams' arc. And there's gonna be like a triangle thing going on between 3 characters. Benjamin Williams is going outside, looking out the sky and looking at LA. We see Lenny somewhere in Stewart's hideout looking so upset and heartbroken. And also for Kim, she is in the hero's hideout. She's in a bedroom all alone looking so sad. And she cannot sleep at all. Let's just say, I want a good drama type of feel of a story where you see all 3 characters getting so sad, getting upset, and they only have one special thing in common, and that is Brian Mills. They're all concerned about him, they're worried about him, and they have no idea where the heck he is. And also, I really want to add that song that was in Taken 3, that really sad song that had a really sad feel to it? A song called Starter or something like that from an artist that I don't know of. I really want that song to be added in that scene, and I really want to get involved with a very sad drama that featured those 3 characters who really cared about one person in their life. And someone special to them in their hearts. And I'm sure at the end of that scene, you'll see Brian Mills somewhere in the hideout, wherever he is. He'll be sad and lonely and feeling his heart broken about what's happening to his family. So that important moment deserves to be at number 3. Coming at number 2 is an epic war between Brian Mills' army versus Stuart St. John's men. And I want to see it at the climax of the storyline. And it's going to take place in New York City, and that's where Stuart and Lenny are. They're in New York City. And it's up to Brian and his army to go to New York City and try to save her as soon as they can. And yeah, I got a good idea for a couple of guest stars in there that will be added in the war scene. I want to see Harrison Ford, I want to see Ewan McGregor, I want to see Ray Fiennes, Jeremy Irons, Helen Mirren, Julianne Moore, Sigourney Weaver, Samuel Jackson, and a couple of good, interesting guest star cameos that will show up in the war scene. And I really want to choose a song that features an epic fight scene. And I got a perfect one for it. So that's all I could say for the number 2 spot. And finally, my number 1 most biggest idea ever that I want to see for the redo story of Taken 3 is definitely the most special one of all. Is definitely Brian and Lenny's love story. We gotta fix Brian and Lenny's love story so darn badly. And it's all about where Brian Mills has to tell Mr. Dawson the whole entire story about he and Lenny's relationship. All the things that happened surround the beginning part of the story. and there's going to be a lot of chaos going on here and there. And I think that's pretty much it for the #1 spot. And I think you already know what kind of ideas I have for Brian and Lenny's relationship. So that important scene deserves to be the #1 most greatest idea ever for the redo story of Taken 3. And that is my whole entire list for now. And before I go, I gotta let you know that today is the 8th anniversary of the day when when I did my very first movie review of Taken. And I promise I will leave a link down below so you guys could check out the very first movie review that started it all. And I better get going because morning is coming, if you know what I mean. So, I hope you enjoyed this list, and I'll do my next one very soon in the main future. So, I'll see you guys later, and sayonara.